So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's stream. It's basically a done deal. Apparently, OLA SOLBAKKEN from Bodo Glimt, our good old friends, has signed his contract with AS Roma. And starting off with a statement, just to give you a perspective of this is in fact the statement which confirms this. In attack, everything is done for OLA SOLBAKKEN, the Norwegian, writes Corriere dello Sport, which is the biggest newspaper source here in Italy. He has already signed today with the Giallorossi being released. His arrival in Rome is expected not before January the 1st, giving the non-idyllic relations with Bodo Glimt unwilling to do favors for Roma. There we go. He has signed apparently. And this is coming from a big source here in Italy. Again, this is, as I just said, the biggest newspaper source here in the country. And yeah. However, he will not come before the 1st of January, obviously. Why is this the case? Because he actually becomes a free agent the 1st of January. That is the first thing to note. And the second thing to note, as reported in this article, is the non-idyllic relations with Bodo Glimt. Now, if we kind of drop back to a few months ago, we were actually very interested in signing OLA SOLBAKKEN this summer. But due to the fact that he wasn't a free agent and you know, we could get him by not spending money, we waited until January. So that is definitely one reason. The second reason being is the fact that Bodo Glimt really didn't want to give SOLBAKKEN to us. You know, they've still got a little bit of salt in that 4-0 defeat last season. And in fact, they were way more tempted and way more willing to give SOLBAKKEN to Napoli. However, due to the fact that Napoli bought so many attacking players, towards the end of the transfer market, SOLBAKKEN is not even a chance anymore. And this is why, as reported by this article, SOLBAKKEN has in fact signed today, secretly, in Norway, his new contract for Roma, which will be activated in January, and he will therefore become the first signing of the January transfer window. People are asking if I'm gonna watch Italy. I am gonna watch Italy. But as I said in previous live streams, I don't really care about the Nations League. I'll watch it obviously because as an Italian, you always support your team. I will definitely be switching between the Italy match and Roger Federer's farewell match. As a tennis fan, it's sad to see, but his era has come to an end. So I will switch between the match. And I believe Federer is playing a double with Nadal in his farewell match. So I'll definitely be switching to that as well. But this puts, I think this is the January transfer window is all about strategic moves. And if there is something which I will say is don't expect big players to be signed in the January transfer window. That is not what the January transfer window is there for. The January transfer, and this isn't just for Roma. You know, you never see big signings in the January transfer window. The January transfer window is all about strategic moves, improving your squad depth, filling the gaps with injured players in the first part of the season. It's all about that. And SOLBAKKEN, I think, is the only explanation which I can find behind this signing is the fact that it's a strategic move. Because I'm going to be very honest with you. I've already said this, but I will say it again. The only reason why we bought SOLBAKKEN is because we faced Bodo Glimt and he played against us and scored against us. There is no part of me which believes that we would have signed SOLBAKKEN if we didn't play 4 matches against Bodo Glimt. That is the realistic side of this deal. The reason why we are buying him is just because he impressed Mourinho against us. And it's a strategic move. It's one of those moves which definitely helps the team, but he won't play a fundamental role. Why do I say important for the team? I say important for the team because January is going to be a very tough month. One reason is because bad conditions of football pitches. If that is snow, wherever we'll be playing in the Europa League if we get to the next round. If it will be rain, football pitches become way harder to play in January, February, and even March. Definitely, that will increase the rate of injuries. After the World Cup, yes, it is true that we will play less matches every week. But most of our players, not most of our players, because we're lucky we already discussed this, but a lot of players after the World Cup have got those energies down and are gonna get injured. A lot of players are gonna get injured in the World Cup. So he is a player to get those injuries out of the way. And it's kind of a signing to answer back and to come back against the injury crisis. Because look at Solbakken right now. If you play Solbakken in the last few matches, he would have been a perfect signing. Because Dybala got injured, El Shaarawy got injured, and all of these players got injured means that you have a lack of players to play. So Solbakken helps a lot when it comes to squad depth. And hopefully, something which I really hope he will bring to Roma is his speed and the way he counterattacks. Bodo is a very fast team. Obviously, it will be hard for him to play the way he plays at Bodo, to the way he plays at Roma, because two completely different teams in two completely different leagues. But I hope in that. Maybe, I'm saying it will be hard for him, but I'm not saying he can't do it. I want to see Solbakken just like the players at Udinese. What are they doing? Running, counter-attacking. That's what Solbakken does, and hopefully that is what Solbakken will bring. The last thing which I will add in this very short live stream, then I will let you go to watch the Italy match, to watch the Federer farewell match, wherever you want to go, Friday night, is right now, as it stands, the 23rd of September 2022. By the way, I am going to get another ring light because, especially now that the sun is down, it's getting really dark. I really don't like this lightning. It frustrates me so much. So I'm sorry about this. It will be brighter in the next couple of weeks. I'm in desperate need of a new light because this room is getting darker and darker every day that comes into the gloomy winter. Anyways, as it stands, the 23rd of September 2022, you look at the January transfer market and you ask yourself, what are Thiago Pinto's objectives? What are Mourinho's objectives from that transfer market? And if we want to break down the three objectives, I say we will buy around 3 players in the January transfer window. Not more, not less. We need 3 players, and 3 players is enough for rotations, for squad depth, and all of that. So, one thing which I will say, the 3 objectives, the 3 big players which Thiago Pinto will be tempted to buy and will definitely try to buy in this transfer window are Solbakken, which we basically already bought, Chalobah, as we discussed the other day, in defense. And the third one, apparently, I've been reading this from many sources, Thiago Pinto wants to prepare a reassault against Fratesi. That, in my opinion, will be our biggest target of the January transfer window. I am reading that they want to bring Fratesi. And the Fratesi deal kind of collapsed in the summer transfer window. They want to get back at it, especially because Sassuolo is performing really poor this season. So that could influence his decisions. But yeah, again, it's very early to speak about transfer windows. We're in September. We're facing Inter Milan next weekend. It's very early. And definitely one thing which I will say is that Mourinho's attention is not on the transfer window right now. Mourinho's attention is just to win matches. When we get to January, and again, this list which I prepared you guys can be very, very much changed. It all depends on the players that we need to, where we need position. Let me give you an example. Imagine Dybala gets injured, out for the rest of the season, then obviously we will need to buy someone to replace Dybala. So it depends a lot. But right now, as it stands, the 3 big objectives of the January transfer window are Solbakken, which is basically done, Fratesi, and Chalobah in defense from Chelsea. And let's not forget that Kumbula is back from his injury after the international break. So ladies and gentlemen, just a quick live stream to talk about Solbakken, which apparently signed his new contract as a Roma player. He will land in Rome the 1st of January. The second he becomes a free agent, he will become a new Roma player. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the subscribe button in this video and smash the like button in this live stream if you haven't already also. And if you have Instagram, follow me here in the orange box over at Simon_AS_. And yeah, up to Italy tonight. And if you're a tennis fan, don't forget, it's Federer's farewell. So I'll catch you soon. Let's see. Let me read 2 last questions. Forza Azzurri. But we have to keep the bragging rights over the smug Brits. Oh, yeah. The only Brit which I like is Tammy Abraham. The rest can fuck off, to be honest. So yeah, definitely good comment there. Ola Solbakken, he's not on the Norway national team. I think it's because he's actually not. He has a. I've been reading that he has like a muscle, but I'm not sure. I really don't know where I read this from. Maybe I've just dreamt this, but I've been reading he has a muscle problem right now. Is Ola the son of the Norwegian coach Steo Solbakken? No idea. Really no idea. Good question. But I'll catch you soon. Simon, out.